And g'day there from down under. My name is Aussie Stern, a country Victorian gamer, and this is, I believe, part 4 of my continuing journeys of painting a Star Wars Legion Rebel army force, loosely themed on the idea of urban or desert training. So in my previous videos, you've seen me paint a full unit. You've seen me doing some inks and highlights. Now I'm talking a little bit today about basing. Now, generally with basing, you can go and do two things. You can go over and like put rocks, put rubble, make it impressive. You can alternatively buy the Star Wars Legion dioramic bases for all your army, or you can leave it plain, just the simple one color with the tonal at the bottom, simply like that one. It's all good either way. For myself, I like to put a little bit of texture on the base and make it pop a little bit, just to show that there's something there. It's not just flat contour. They're not all on the same level of ground. So what I am doing today is I am using some multi-bond, or you can use like a super glue. And if you do use a super glue, I'd recommend using a gel type super glue rather than a just straight liquid. I find the liquid one, it doesn't set as quickly, and also in fact it runs quite easily, especially depending on what type of environment you have. I also have my plastic glue here. I don't normally use that either for basing material, simply because it sometimes is not strong enough. So generally I'll use either the multi-bond or the Selleys quick fix super glue gel. To it, I'm adding some Army Painter Battlefield Jungle Tuft, so just a little bit of grass turf. I also have some sand. This is modeling sand by Games Workshop. Very old container, as you can see, because half the writing is fading away and you can't really work out the logo anymore because the yellow has faded into the white behind it. But I find the container that it came in is actually quite good, and the sand and the coarse rocks in it is also quite appropriate in many ways. I'm sure once I finish this container of sand material, I'll probably try and find something similar in like a railway store or something or other, railway modeling store, and just basically use the container still because it's actually quite handy. So to do the model, I generally like to grab the model and I will apply the multi-bond just to one surface of the base. So as you can see, and you can see that it's a good dollop that I add on, and then spend 5 minutes trying to wrap up the excess liquid. And then I use something to spread it out, smear it, sort of thing. Today I'm just using a cotton bud that I've cut off the end for. As you can see, I've already done some gluing. That's all these ones out the back. So just by gently sort of smearing it, giving the base a nice even coat. If I feel like I need some more, I'll add some more on the other side just so that it's nice and covered. If it covers your leg of the model, it doesn't matter so much because obviously it is sand, and it could just mean that the person's pretty close to a very deep sand area. Once done, once I've put as much of the glue material on as much as possible, if I'm going to add some Jungle Tuft, I will open it up, and it comes in on a plastic sheet, all of them different. I'll then pick out which one I want to do, and I think I'll go with this one right here. Peel it off. Using my tweezers that are actually scissored so that when it's released it's actually holding tight. Put it on. Select where I want to put it, and I think I'll put it right in front. And just gently tap it down. Once that's done, while the glue is still wet, I'll then, and I'll shift this ever so slightly, I'll grab the sand and just gently submerge the model with it. Give it a little bit of shake, sort of thing, to cover it, and rest it there for about 5-10 seconds. Taking it out, lightly tapping it on the side, or using the likes of your tweezers, just tapping it to shake loose any excess soil. And there you can see the base is pretty much done. Obviously, if you want to build up more in the way of mold mounds, or if you want to say put anything like a stormtrooper helmet or rubble, things like that, brickwork, you do that at the same time as you're doing the turf before you add in any of the sand. Obviously, with diorama or specialty type bases, you wouldn't be needing that. And also you need to remember, when you go to do these types of bases, trying to ensure that the actual arc lines are not too obscured from the actual turf, because that can be important in the game terms of understanding where your arcs are. So next one is my sergeant, and this time of course he's not going to get any grass on him, he's just going to be a straight sand. In we go. Same thing again. Wait a few seconds just so that the bonding process starts. And then And as you can see, one of his foot's partially covered. You can, I have been told, and on occasion I've seen this done, grab a fairly old brush of some sort, and you can lightly brush away while it's still wet some of the stonework that is like getting in the way. I would not recommend doing it too hard because some of the glues that I use can potentially start taking off the paint as well. So now for my droid, my 21B, he will have a bit of grass on him. I'm actually thinking I might just put 3 pieces of grass. When you're doing dioramas and making scenes and stuff like that, having things that are not uniform actually makes a lot more sense, because we're not always going to be perfectly in the same situation all the time. It's not going to be the case of everyone standing on the perfectly cut grass all the time, or that in fact that this area that they're in is perfectly flat. So if you do bases like I am, do a bit of variety. Do some with lots in the way of grass, others not so much. And like even when you do put lots of grass on like you do, like what I've done for my droid here, by putting a little bit of extra grass, extra sand on, and then shaking it off, really highlights the model and actually makes it feel more alive in many ways. Now, unlike the idea of doing a Tatooine-based force, which is primarily desert and very no in the way of greenery to it, I wanted to go with a semi-arid. So it's got a bit of green, it's got a bit of texture, and you'll see that when it comes time to doing some of the more dioramas or the actual barricades that I'm hoping to purchase. That, as you can see, that there'll be some more green. There'll be some more like lichen and stuff like that will be on it. So last one for this video is my officer. He gets the same treatment, on with the glue. Try not to get it all over my hands. Smearing it so it's level. Just like so. Now I'll put a nice big clump. Now I should mention with this Jungle Tuft, it comes with a glue on the back of it already. That's how it sticks onto this, the clear plastic sheeting. I do find that sometimes it needs a little bit of extra glue, which is why I put the multi-bond down first, because sometimes this glue after a little while releases, especially in abnormal temperatures, especially like if it gets really cold and then really warm, over periods of time, sort of thing. So having that extra glue helps. It also means that you've got one flat side that you can pretty much ensure that it sits on correctly. And finally some sand. And that's pretty much it. So as you can see, all my models for my first unit and a couple of the specialists have now been done. These now will dry over the next couple of days while I make progress on the next squad, as well as starting probably to paint Han Solo. But for now, that's all from me, Aussie Stern. Wishing everyone safe journeys, and please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you wish, and I will catch you in the future. Bye.